Okay, so as you know, we're celebrating Earth Day and Passover today. Today's April 22nd. But now I would like to talk to you a little bit about Passover. So, Passover, also known as Pesach, is a celebration that is taking place starting today, starting April 22nd, and it is scheduled to end on April 30th. So, the date of Passover changes every year because it is according to the Hebrew calendar, which goes according to phases of the moon. According to the book of Exodus from the Torah, which is the Bible of the Jewish people, Passover is considered a 7-day observance in Israel, but outside of Israel, like places in the United States, it may extend to 8 days. So you might be asking yourself, what exactly is Passover and why is it so important? Well, you have to go back to the story of ancient Egypt, which is when everything begins. So the story begins when the Jewish people left their home in Canaan and they settled in ancient Egypt. The first person to have done that was a man by the name of Joseph. So Joseph was very important because he founded one of the 12 tribes of Israel. In the beginning, when Joseph and his family led to ancient Egypt, there was a lot of harmony, there was a lot of peace and harmony with the Jewish people, but eventually the Egyptians felt threatened by the Jewish as the population got bigger. There was a very hostile Egyptian ruler known as a pharaoh. He ordered enslavement of the Jewish people, and he also ordered for the firstborn babies, firstborn sons, to be drowned in the Nile. Interestingly enough, the Pharaoh's daughter was able to rescue one of those infants, and they named him Moses. So Moses, as he got older, learned that he was a Jew. Eventually, he left to go to the Sinai Peninsula, and he became a shepherd for about 40 years. Eventually, he received a commandment from God to return to Egypt in order to free the slaves, the Jewish slaves, and request a 3-day feast in the wilderness. The Pharaoh was a very bad person. He refused Moses' request. And because of that, God sent the Egyptians 10 plagues of really bad things going on. After the plagues happened, it ended with an avenging angel killing every firstborn son. After seeing everything that was going on, the Egyptians tried to convince the Pharaoh, which is the ruler, to release the Israelites, and Moses attempted to get them out of Egypt. As Moses left with the people, unfortunately, the Pharaoh changed his mind and he sent the soldiers back to retrieve the slaves. They were at the edge of the Red Sea. So what was interesting is that when the people were trying to escape the Red Sea and the Pharaoh and the soldiers were trying to go to get the people to come back, God caused a miracle to happen. He caused the Red Sea to part in order to allow Moses and the Israelites to escape. And he also ordered the sea to be closed and drowned the Egyptians. For 40 years after that, the Israelites passed through the Sinai desert until they reached Canaan, which is considered the land of Israel. Today, the Jewish people celebrate Passover in order to commemorate the story of the Israelites' departure from ancient Egypt. For the most part, the first 2 nights are considered very important because they will have a seder or an important formal dinner, and then they will commemorate the rest of the week with prayers and with other festivities. So I hope that you enjoyed this very brief introduction to Passover. And if you are celebrating Passover, I wish you a wonderful and amazing celebration.